Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Persian and the Cowboy podcast. As always, he's the Persian, I'm the Cowboy. And today we're going to be discussing Mr. Xi Jinping's visit to San Francisco and how all of a sudden all the shit is not on the ground there anymore.
Yeah.
Crazy times. Anyways, Mr. Persian, are your opening thoughts?
Yeah, so about 2 weeks ago, President Xi Jinping of China came to the Bay Area, to San Francisco specifically, to meet with Joe Biden. It was the 30th APEC summit between the United States and China and other leaders. But essentially, they rolled out the red carpet for Xi Jinping. And San Francisco, that has such a big homeless problem, drug problem, fecal matter on the ground, needles, they literally cleaned up the city for this asshole, Xi Jinping, for a couple days.
It seemed like almost overnight it was
overnight, they cleaned him up.
It was insane.
And there were a lot of people that said, well, if you guys rolled the red carpet for basically the enemy of the United States, an economic powerhouse that is our enemy both economically and militarily, then why don't you guys clean up your streets generally?
Yeah.
If you can do that in a day. And they rolled the red carpet for him. There was like maybe one American flag in the ceremony line from SFO. It was all Chinese flags everywhere. It literally looked like California was a Chinese province, and he came to visit his state, essentially.
Yeah.
Do you know how bad this looks for the United States, that we basically kissing this guy's ass? Because let me tell you something. The United States is what made China powerful, giving all the manufacturing to them, giving them all this power because we're looking out to make a much easier buck and to make labor cheaper, and sending all of our jobs overseas 20, 30 years ago to China, especially on the manufacturing side, and we have crippled ourselves.
Yeah,
and now China's laughing in our face.
We're still the ones that are giving them that power, though, by
we keep doing it,
maintaining the shipping lanes, allowing for easy transportation between countries. Peter Zion says it all the time, but if we just go home, then the natural enemies of China have them surrounded already. And so, China's in an interesting boat, but you and I have disagreed about that for a long time. But anyways.
I firmly believe, especially the Democrat Party, they are in bed with China.
Oh yeah, I don't doubt
Republicans too, but especially the Democrats, they are in bed. Biden has had tens of millions of dollars worth of deals that are being uncovered with the government of China. It has come out through his brother, through his son, Hunter Biden, under investigation. I mean, I don't understand why this family is not under full indictment.
Yeah.
And they are just brushing this under the rug. Congress, the House, the courts, everybody. I mean, Trump is like fighting for his life for some bogus lawsuits. Some maybe he's guilty of. We don't know. But this guy is literally under pressure because they know he's going to win the next election in 2024. So they're trying to put him in jail, which is a second and third world tactic.
It is.
Right? But if you're going to take out one guy, you need to take out the other guy too. And there needs to be a fair due process where there's a full investigation. Biden is literally in bed with China, and it shows. Throughout his meetings and different rallies he said, folks, it's in our interest to be friends with China. I'm a populist belief. I have nationalistic tendencies where I would like the jobs to come back to America, the manufacturing to come back to America, create American jobs. This product right here should be made in America. Your hat should be made in America. My hat should be made in America. Well, that's good that it's made in America.
Yeah.
But these things should be made here, not in China, not in Malaysia, not in India, not in Sri Lanka, not in Micronesia or wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
We have given these countries, especially China, a lot of power, and China now is using it against us. They're making moves economically through their Silk Road Initiative. They are making moves militarily. They're on pace to catch up with us militarily in the next decade. That is a very scary thing. And to roll out the red carpet for this guy, to have him here, to kiss his ass, put your tongue in his ass, and basically roll out the red carpet for him is a bad sign. And Joe Biden's puppet, Gavin Newsom, who's probably going to become the 2024 nominee because Biden has no he's losing his faculties. I don't think he can run anymore because he's basically dead. He's just a walking corpse. He doesn't know what the fuck's going on.
It's incredible.
And by the way, a Gavin Newsom presidency would be 10 times worse than a Biden presidency, and that's saying a lot. This is one of the architects that ruined San Francisco. San Francisco has a lot of potential to be a great city, but they have liberal politicians through the last 4 decades that have destroyed this city, starting from Mayor Willie Brown. Then you had Gavin Newsom, who came in. Gavin Newsom, his policies helped aid destroy San Francisco. You have homeless people everywhere. It is a mental institution.
Well, not anymore. Somehow all like it just
Well, they're back. They're back. They let them back in.
the tents are all back up.
The
and everything?
tents, everything's back up.
Oh my gosh.
You literally
Why?
solved this issue in 24 hours because some fucking thug dictator in China came here and you cleaned up your streets. Why? You could do this now for the American people, for the San Franciscans that pay so much tax, for the Californians. The homelessness crisis is a problem throughout the United States, but especially in California and in cities like San Francisco, San Jose, Oakland, Los Angeles, San Diego, Sacramento. The place is a shithole. It needs to be cleaned up. Like, one of the things Trump said the other day is that if he becomes president, he is going to deploy the military to certain Democrat cities to clean them up because of the crime and the homelessness. I'm a fucking avid supporter for that. Thank God somebody finally said this. It is disgusting to have children going to school in San Francisco, walking over needles, playing hopscotch over it, while some guy is bent down like a fucking zombie on fentanyl.
Yeah, it's insane, and it's so obvious, and it's so apparent, and it's so blatant. And to me, it's just like not an equal application of the law. You were talking earlier about everyone going after Trump, right? I don't think anyone is above the law. The law should be equally enforced over everything. There's laws on the books that say you can't camp in public like that.
They don't know how to. They can solve the problem. They can solve the problem. Thank you so much. They can solve the problem. You can get these people help, the ones that can be helped. You can get them help through medication, through therapies, get them off the drugs, put them back into society and make them work. But a lot of them don't. And I'm sorry, at the end of the day, this problem needs to be cleaned up. I am not paying you, the American taxpayer, the Californian taxpayer does not deserve to pay all these high taxes to live here so that we can see some motherfucker shoot drugs into his vein and just pass out on the street. This needs to be cleaned up. We need to be more like an authoritarian society when it comes to this. Enough is enough. Enough is enough. I mean, San Francisco was once a great city.
Well, they just flipped the switch, and they were an authoritarian society, and
It
they
was
just
great.
cleared them all on out.
It was
and it's
great.
Just like, what the hell?
I loved it.
Yeah.
There are places in California where you literally can dump these people in the middle of the desert. You can, you could literally do that. You could literally set up
Maybe not
tents
that
for
extreme,
them.
but yeah.
You could dump them there. You could literally have tents. You could have jobs for them, waiting for them, like a community, right? You can have the fucking tiny homes, but they have to stay there and they cannot get out, like a camp where they are taken care of through medication therapies, through therapies, clean them up and give them jobs, rebuild their confidence. That way they're not just sitting and doing drugs all day. Then once they're ready and clean of this toxin, put them back into society. But they have to stay there, and it should be guarded by the military. The U.S. military and the National Guard should protect those areas so these people don't come out and fuck around again.
Yeah.
I am sick and tired of this shit. You can easily grab these people and dump them there, get them the help they need, and re-release them back into society. Like, this is animalistic. This is out of control.
Yeah.
Like, San Francisco is a failed state. It's like Libya. You have people that drive cars there, park their car, and they come back, their windows are smashed. People
they just
literally
keep their windows
leave their
open.
shit
Yeah.
up and say, dude, I don't have anything. But yet, this Chinese thug dictator from fucking China, the enemy of the United States, who is literally raping the United States, inserting their penis inside the American by buying property in the United States through third-party shell companies, buying farmland, buying land, buying assets in America. We are literally, for the almighty dollar, because we love making money and profit, our politicians and business people are in bed with China, and they're giving America up to China. And it's disgusting. Any politician that's in bed with China, any Hollywood elite, business person, CEO, should be arrested for treason. This is treason. You are selling America underneath our feet for the Chinese.
Yeah.
This is disgusting. After fucking COVID-19, which was a man-made manufactured disease in a Chinese lab in Wuhan, the world should have came together and said, you know what? We're going to put our dick in China's ass and pay back the price because China fucked up and nobody slapped their wrists. Millions of people died for no reason and no penalty was paid. Like, there should have been a Chinese, if people talk about the Muslim travel ban, there should be a Chinese travel ban. I don't want anybody from China coming to the United States because of this situation until China pays reparations to the United States for COVID-19 and the rest of the world.
Yeah. And I think one thing that is crazy to me, it just blows my mind, is that California government made it very clear that they care more about Xi Jinping's perspective of San Francisco than the actual residents that live there.
This is, you just hit it on the button. That's the billion-dollar question. Why? Why do you care about this motherfucker coming here?
We're trying to keep his perception of America like good? What the fuck? Why don't we just make it clean? It's the same thing. Like, I used to be in facilities management, right? And there was like, there's some buildings that people manage and they're like, oh shit, they're coming by for a tour right now. They might want to lease out the space. We got to like clean everything up and make it look perfect and everything like that. My thing was like, why don't we just keep it that way so we're not doing this last minute bullshit anyway to try to make it look good for these people? Why don't we just advertise what we have already? And it's already clean. It's already beautiful. This is just the environment that our tenants would live in, like if they wanted to rent from us. You know, it's just crazy that we don't do that for our own people.
Let me ask you a question. Why was this summit not at a neutral location in a Pacific country instead of coming to America and we have to roll out the red carpet for this guy? At the end of the day, China is the enemy of the United States, militarily, economically, and we are going to have a situation with them. And we already are in competition with them. And we're not winning this. We are not winning this. You may have a different opinion than me on this, but we are not winning. When you do something like this and roll out the red carpet for this thug from China, fuck that. You need to take care of the problems in your country, whether it's infrastructure, societal, homeless, drug problems. You take care of it for your citizens. We are paying tax dollars to solve these problems, and these people are pocketing the money, okay? So at the end of the day, this is a major concern. What do these politicians have with China that we don't know?
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's just crazy with all that. And to me,
there needs to be laws against Chinese nationals who are from China buying American real estate in the United States.
Yes.
A ban.
Absolutely. And so going back to your original question, I don't think, we disagree on China. I don't disagree that China's winning right now. I disagree on the premise that them winning is inevitable. I think all the United States would have to do to win is just try to win. Like, that's it.
Well, America can do that, but I think America needs to also get...
If we got strict with economic warfare with them, if we put in sanctions even remotely similar to...
I think we should put sanctions on...
To Russia's sanctions?
All the business people, I think all the business people will be like, whoa, hold on a second.
Oh, yeah, because the donors, none of our senators will do
There
that.
needs to be a president that comes in and has all these fucking CEOs and be like, look, the party's over. You guys made your money with China. Mm-hmm. I want all the shit back in America.
Yeah.
If not, I'm going to raise your corporate tax from the 21% that Trump lowered all the way up to 60%. I'm going to fuck you with taxes.
There should be no federal income tax, but
they need to tax the shit out of them. Be like, look, this is an American company that needs to be built in America and create American jobs. We have a ton of manufacturing plants that are empty and decaying throughout this country, through the Rust Belt, the Midwest, the South, and the East Coast, and even the West Coast. So at the end of the day, they have to do these things because the United States, the people of the U.S. deserve this kind of economic freedom and liberty. And you know what? The iPhone, the Android, whatever the fuck, it will be expensive, but the American consumer will buy it knowing that it's made in America.
Yeah.
They will buy it. That made in America stamp on a product makes people erect. They love it.
Well, it's also a fact, too, if we
patriotism.
If we just bring it back and cut back on all the red tape that's restricting our capitalism, then we can actually afford things again. If capitalism is just let to do what capitalism does, everyone prospers. Everyone gets richer that way. But we have all these regulations that are controlling us right now. It's crazy.
I don't like regulations, but at a certain point, you have to regulate things in order to help the American worker, the American citizen.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, the U.S., this globalism situation and outsourcing destroyed the United States and the Western world. We destroyed ourselves. And it happened 3-4 decades ago, but especially under Bill Clinton. This guy opened the door for fucking everybody, to come in and take jobs and shit like that. So at the end of the day, we need to get serious about this because it's going to kill us in the end. It's going to kill us.
Yeah, at least China's labor population is getting a lot older now. So they're going to be...
That one kid policy really fucked things up for them.
Yeah, so if they want to do stuff and expand militarily, this is kind of like the last decade they can do it because they're getting old pretty damn quick. And so they're going to be taking care of all their elders at some point. And the one-child policy, there's just not enough women in China.
No, there's not. They
doomed.
prefer having male children.
Yeah.
And this is what happens. And in the end, for the United States, to wrap up this segment, we need to have a president who comes in who has nationalistic tendencies. When I say nationalistic, populist ideas, that an America First agenda, like a Trump, but somebody that comes in and starts threatening these countries that pose a threat to us and be like, look, in threatening our economic leaders that are here in the United States and be like, look, we cannot do this anymore. Mm-hmm. It is killing us. Either you're with us or you're with them.
Yeah.
And if you're with them, you don't want to bring the jobs back to America, and we're going to give you a lot of tax credits and incentives to sweeten the deal. But if you're not going to do that, I'm going to fuck you with taxes. I'm going to try to get Congress to get you on treason charges.
Well, I mean, that's a little extreme. I really don't think there's anything more we have to do than just open up free trade and, turn off all of the foreign aid, all the money we're sending to these countries in the first place.
But this is treason. To eliminate jobs in the United States and send it overseas for cheaper labor, for cheaper costs, and more profit for corporations. This is treason towards the country. You are doing business with countries that are
That's just basic economics.
It's basic economics. But the thing is, you're killing the progress in this country.
Then just make a tariff.
That's it. Like Trump had tariffs.
Yeah, exactly. Make a tariff, and then, it's more expensive all of a sudden to ship everything. It should be more expensive to ship everything, all the materials, all the supplies over to China so it can be assembled and then sent all the way back across the Pacific Ocean to the United States. Mexican labor is cheaper and more skilled than Chinese labor is right now.
Well, we should be very careful with giving all the manufacturing and labor to Mexico because Mexico can also have a similar effect long term.
Yeah, but they're a lot closer than us. They're still our guys. But yeah, the cartel does complicate things down that way.
But the thing is, we should really make this to come back to America.
Yeah, and then
we have to do it.
If we lower the cost of living, then everything gets better.
That's it.
So
that's it, Cowboy.
Anyways, wrapping this one up. Thanks for coming along, guys, and we'll catch you next time.